Good morning. I'm gonna do a little quick video on what I did to my John boat. Real easy modifications. Very little money, very little for what it is. How I did my deck, just plywood, some Amazon EVA foam, C-deck. My extension on the front, nice place. I'll go over that. The depth finder rod holder mount, assist how I did that, how I ran my wires, my poling platform, the mud motor, mud skipper. We'll go in, I'll bring you in just a little closer here in a minute. How I did my trailer, Harbor Freight, very cheap with just a little modification. Just a very budget friendly, I guess they'd say John boat to bass boat, but we mainly use this on the flats and the marsh. I mean, we run jugs, noodles, whatever you want to call it, for catfish too, but this is quick and easy, very simple to do. All right, I'm gonna bring you in just a little bit closer so we can go over some more of this stuff. We'll start with the front right here. This is just diamond plate, a little bit of rebar bent. That's the same rigid conduit I used for my poling platform. Found it on a job site, leftover scrap, leftover scrap, leftover scrap. I recessed in a cup holder. In several locations, I drilled and welded 3/8 nuts to the underside. So if you want to put your rod holders up front, quick and easy, or eye bolts, I put an eye bolt over here just because I have one laying around. It comes in handy. There's two more right here for the trolling motor mount. I haven't built it yet. We don't use the trolling motor that often, fishing the way we fish. But and these rod holders were not like this. They were standard rod holders. And I just found a piece of tube that they would fit in. JB welded this end in the other side. Cut off the head of a 3/8 bolt. JB welded it in. No way I can get them up, because if this was down like this, it would just, to me, I don't like it. So I raised them up. I'll get you down under here. I have an LED light mounted under here. Another one mounted behind the poling platform. I'll show you all that. I'll try to do this without this video being too long, but inside here, a good storage area. Just stick this right here for right now. All right, let's look at this light down here. If you look, nice LED light mounted underneath. This is for my stakeout pole. I'll stick it in a minute, show you how that works. Just a Harbor Freight trailer. I got that rope tie there, just something to grab. I got my lights, the wiring for my lights. Oh, small hole drilled. Just run it through. Everything's on quick connects. That's the diamond plate. It's very simplistic, if you ask me, which is what I wanted. Something nice and simple. Got another little rod holder right here. Mainly if you catch fish, you can stick it in, unhook him. the cup holder. I may be pointing at it, I'm not sure. The different mounting ports. This is where my trolling motor is going to mount. I don't have the mount built yet. Just little things welded to it. I have my lights. They tuck right up in here, out of the way. Look, so much out of the way I can't even get it out now. Just plug and play. Plug it in. Lights come on. This same one will power the trolling motor. You know, if you got it, just plug it in. I'm not going to be running the trolling motor at night when I'm using my light anyway, I don't think. Back where we can see a little bit better. Quick, simple hatch. Everything's fiberglass. Nice big open storage area. Some people will want to see inside a storage area. But you know, keep your life jackets, throw nets, fire extinguisher, whatever you need to keep. I'm going to lift up on it. There's no, all it is plywood. On the front side of the seat, there's one 2x4 that runs across that keeps it from sliding back. Let me move this. Well, I'll have to get the polling platform, the stakeout pole off. I'll show you that in a minute. We'll lift this up and I'll show you that here in a second. We'll move back here to the cockpit or whatever you call it, the open area. Now I didn't do the whole floor. My son's doing the whole floor in his boat. But I just wanted to have a place to put my feet when I'm driving. Because a lot of times when we're running jugs, noodles, whatever you want to call it, and I pull them in, you know, a lot of times your fish will go right there. And the cooler I use, my Yeti 35, it fits right between these and doesn't slide around. All this is an old street sign. Simple, cut it to fit. I have some fiberglass and there's layers of tape so it doesn't touch the aluminum. But a 2x6 up under here to keep that from flexing. Very simple, easy. It's just a piece of 1/4 inch steel that was laying around on a job site. And I thought, man, what if where your oar locks are, I just drilled one hole. There's a light. Mounted it, I'll show you a close up. Got 2 little tabs of angle iron welded here to keep it from moving. My depth finder mounted on a ram mount. But here I just had this open space. I was like, well, I can throw another rod holder right here just to get it out of the way, whatever. You know, you can swing it around. Comes in handy. Right here, and I'll move it around to the other side in a second, but I've kicked way too many drinks over, and I just mounted one of them $2 cup holders you find at the Walmart or something. Mounted it there. Back deck about normal, you know, just some sea deck. I'll show you where I had to cut a hole in the back deck to run some of the wires, not this one, but the wires going up through the lights because I didn't want them ran here. I have it ran over there. Let's go ahead and get you that close up of underneath. Just some, I guess you can see that angle iron welded and bolted just to keep it from swiveling and moving. Little cheap cup holder. Yeah, I keep my fish grips and my pliers clamped to my seat. This is the wire running back for my lights. Get you set up so we can look at the polling platform a little better. Oh, my stuff's gonna turn over. There we go. Well, I'm gonna have to move it over here. There we go. How it's mounted. Once again, same rigid conduit, bent on a 60 degree, just scrap material. Welded to a little piece of angle iron, bolted in. Fiberglass plywood on top. Same Amazon EVA foam. Empty space, so I put 2 rod holders. Just if you're fishing off the back. And because of being at the coast a lot, put these just to get the rods off the water. You know, the spray and splash. Don't want your rods rusting out. I get you a close up, light mounted on the back. There it is. Another LED light. Holes drilled with the wire running inside the tube, so there's no exposed wires. And I'll show you down in here a little better in just a second. There's your angle iron, just 2 1/4-inch bolts holding it on. Like I said, you can stand on it, sit on it. But stand on it gets a little tipsy. But I mainly use it for the rod holders. That's the main thing. Or standing up. I'll stand up there, just lean against it while I'm waiting. The Mud Skipper mud motor, 420. People's going to ask, yes. With everything I've done in here, before I put anything in this boat, with this and just a bare plain G3 boat, I get 22 miles an hour. With all the modifications I've done with just me in it, I get 22 miles an hour. Nothing changed. 2 people in it, you're going to 15 to 17. And for me, that's plenty in the marsh, running noodles. Plenty fast. It's not a speedboat. I know you can put a hop-up kit on it and all that. Not saying I'm not going to, but not right this second. I had seen a picture of a Johnboat online with a polling platform similar to this, and I just had to have one. I had to have it. Let me move you over here. See if I can get this. All right. Yeah, I keep all my important documents that you need in there. Extra gas can. But I had to cut a hole in here, put one of them little kayak hatches. So when I ran my wire, drilled another hole so my lights and everything could go through and be nice and smooth and flush and clean looking. To me, that was a must. My depth finder runs on a different battery system. I run it off Milwaukee batteries. Look, I don't have one in here at the moment, but I just bought a converter kit. Plugs right in. You get that little piece that goes on top of your Milwaukee battery, DeWalt, Hercules, whatever brand you got. Plug and play. When I'm running my depth finder, mostly during the day, not that it pulls much power, I ain't got to worry about it draining my battery. I use this for cranking it, and the limited amount of time early mornings or in the evenings after sunset to run my lights, that's it. This is dedicated to the depth finder because it'll stay on all day, and if I forget to unplug it, no big gig. When I first set that system up, I had it in my living room playing with it. I left it on all night long, overnight, so it was roughly about 11 hours. There's 4 bars on a DeWalt battery, a Milwaukee battery. I used one of them in 11 hours with that depth finder, so plenty of time. Just normal everyday seat. I'm thinking of extending the handle a little bit. Makes it a little more comfortable standing up to drive. If y'all want a video of the mud motor itself, there's 900 of them on YouTube. I can't stress these things enough. These things are awesome. That mud motor is probably the best purchase I think I've ever made. My tripod's gonna fall over. My transducer mount. Let's get back here and see it. It is on a piece of UHMW board, cutting board material I had. There's no screws or holes drilled. That is that JB Weld marine stuff. Comes in a tube, like Play-Doh, you mix it up. I put it on there, wasn't sure. Put my foot on the edge, stood on it. Hey man, it'll hold 170 pounds. It won't come off. For what it is, good to go. Like I said, my Stakeout pole, Island Anchor, I think is the brand. I'll show you that. I'm gonna show you underneath the deck how that is. Really simple, y'all. It you can pull it in and out. Yeah, I have the little clamps. I'll show you all those. Oh, I'll move the camera up here and then stick that in. But this is simple. 1 2x4 to keep it from sliding back. Everything's fiberglass. It'll last forever. Well, if it lasts me 3 years, I'm happy. I'll redo it. But it doesn't move. I didn't want hinges and stuff. Used to have this tethered to the inside. When I put this stuff on, I forgot to put that tether on. Going 65, 70 miles an hour down the road to the coast. It stayed in, so I never chose to change it. We'll just leave it as that. Try not to make this too long of a video. But my Stakeout pole, it just get to where you're going. Start to do this, fishing the coast now instead of dropping an anchor or having a trolling motor with spot lock. You know, most of the time in the marsh or on the flats when you're flounder fishing, the max you're in is 5 foot of water where we fish at. So you're around 3 to 5 foot, you know, throwing for flounder. That thing is worth its weight in gold. My wife found it for me online. I think these things go for like 120 bucks. But it is the, look, it's probably scraped off. Island Anchor, Saudi Adventures. It was cheaper to buy this than to buy just a fiberglass rod. And this nice stainless steel. Awesome. Show you how I got this. This is just mounted with 4 bolts, 1/4 inch bolts. through the gunwale rail. You know, on the front of John boats, you got that one little strip. One there, and through the other gunwale rail. And I was just messing around. I had some old rebar. I was like, man, I wonder, like a handhold, just something to grab. Especially you get out the boat, you know, on the flats, you're in knee-deep water, just something you can grab onto. Pull it around a little bit. Let me put this back. I tried to hide all my wiring the best I could with those little sticky things you zip tie. You know, you stick them to the side, zip tie it, run it down and hide it. Or not necessarily hide it, but make it nice and neat. And like I said, the mud motor, I'm thinking about extending the handle just a little bit, because when I stand up to drive, if it was a little bit longer, I think I would be a little more, just a bit more happy with it. But then it would turn the steering a little awkward. But as of right now, I'm like this, which is no big deal. I would rather be right here. You know what I mean? Just 16 inches, maybe. I've got it figured out and drawn out. But that would change from here to here. So, like I said, 22 miles an hour, plenty speed. If y'all have any questions about anything I've done, leave them in the comments. I'm going to try to do at least one video a week, not just on boating stuff, on my DIYs. My son boat is just like this, a G3. I bought them at the same time, same motor. His boat is the same, but totally different, if that makes sense. A lot of it is the same concepts, different materials he used. Instead of round pipe, he went with square tubing. How I have the front of mine curved, his is all square. I'm jealous. Mine was the prototype. He took some of the ideas and just blew them out of the water, in my opinion. Just totally outdone mine. We're still working on it, or he is. I'm helping him a little bit. We'll do a whole nother video on that one, then do a side-by-side comparison. There's just a lot of little differences. But this boat, like I said, in this Amazon EVA foam, it's like $100 a roll. It's not quite a 4x8 sheet. I think it's like 43 inches by 45 inches. It's some weird, like up here where I had to piece it. You can't, going with the camouflage or whatever color this is, you can't tell when you have to piece it. That's the only part that's pieced. I can see it because I know I did it, but if you walk by it, you'll never see it. If you decide to do something like this to a John boat, you're gonna get people wanting to talk to you. That's why I chose to do a video on. I'm like, man, everybody at the boat ramp you go to put in, it takes you an extra 30 minutes. You don't want to be rude when you're pulling out. Everybody wants to, what is this? What is this? I think the EVA foam, got 2 rolls. So that's $200. That's literally the only money I've put in this. Well, the fiberglass, just fiberglass resin. You know, I had everything cut, mixed it up. The front deck, this is the same thing, 3/4 inch plywood, saturated in fiberglass, sanded down smooth. EVA foam on top. The rod holders back here, same rod holders as these. I just painted these black. Should have done that one too, but that way, yeah, there's another one in there, but if you want to throw some rods off the back, you know, or if you're wanting to drift a little bit. That's what I've done, strictly going out on the water, seeing what I want. Hey man, I like to do this, I like to do that. There's no really one boat does it all, but this does everything for me. Running jugs. I've tried to get it. Well, I do have a YouTube short with me and my son running jugs. Let me get a little picture of these. I keep calling them jugs, but noodles. You know, running noodles. A lot of times we will, when we bait them and throw them out, we use the stakeout rod for the little hook to grab them. You can go watch that YouTube short. It's on my channel on doing that. I mean, self-explanatory. I ended up getting one of these big totes. When the noodles are out, the catfish go in here instead of just throwing them in the bottom of the boat. Because cleaning that slime out, I just got tired of it. Not tired of it. I'll spend $14 on a tote and gives me something to keep all my stuff in. All right, I'm rambling now. If y'all have any questions, comments, if you want to know about the trailer real quick. It's a Harbor Freight 4-foot by 4-foot trailer. Now the little ones, I cut the tongue off, went to the steel store, bought me a piece of 2-inch by 4-inch square tubing, rectangle tubing, 20-foot long, and it runs all the way up under the whole trailer. Then I had some square tubing. We made that little stuff. A little bit of welding. To buy a trailer was, when I bought the boat, a new boat trailer, said it was going to be $1,600. I said, no, sir. I think I can do it cheaper. Trailers are always on sale at Harbor Freight. Got it for like 300 bucks. That piece of tubing was $100. I had these pieces laying behind the shop, but if you had to buy them, let's say 50 bucks. So $450, I got a boat trailer. You know what I mean? Instead of $1,600. Trying to do everything as cheap as possible. All the stuff was reclaimed from a job site. I know everybody doesn't have access to all this stuff, but wherever you live, there's construction going on. You can find some stuff. People will give it to you because they don't want to haul it off. A drop, reclaimed, reclaimed, reclaimed. The little piece of angle iron that joins them together is the same angle iron as right here. But if you have any questions about anything I should have probably done different for cheap, yeah, you can go aluminum, aluminum, aluminum. I lost no speed using plywood. Altogether, polling platform, additional deck, this, didn't weigh it before or after, but because of the plywood, that maybe 75 pounds, 80 pounds of weight added. I can pick that thing up with, like, really easy when I unbolt it. I can just pick it up and move it. It doesn't weigh maybe 10 pounds. As weird as it sounds, it's light. So the stuff I did is lighter than putting a marine battery up front of the boat, right close to it. All right, anyway, I'm rambling. Let me know what you think. You know, if you like the video, share it, man. I know there's 100 videos like this online. But give me a view, leave a comment. What you might think you would do different or I should do different. I'm tickled to death with it. Crazy as it sounds, it's my dream boat. So let me know. If I didn't go over something you want to see more in depth on, let me know. I'll shoot a video on it, whether it's the motor, try to get some on the water stuff. Trying to do one video a week at least. Got some how-to projects in the backyard at the pool house, the grilling area. We're gonna do Kane's boat. A lot of projects going on I'd like to get some videos out on. A lot of them. Let me know. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for watching. See you again, hopefully in a week. All right, thank you.